tucked underneath the country's largest mall. What opened in 1996 as the Underwater World, and then became the Underwater Adventures Aquarium, was eventually rebranded by Merlin Entertainments as the Sea Life Mall of America. This 1.3 million gallon aquarium includes 11 separate sections, although here's a fair warning, many of these areas are very poorly lit, and I do think this place was a bit too kid-centered. With that in mind, since many of the galleries are incredibly short-lived, we'll go through the aquarium in one full tour. I'll explain more along the way, so let's begin. After taking an escalator downstairs, past a peek into a behind-the-scenes area is where this tour begins. What went from being known as Touch of the Wild Woods is now known as Brave the Rainforest. The first tank in here features multiple anglefish, and further down is a similar but larger display, once home to a snapping turtle, now for a shoal of the very aggressive red-bellied piranhas. Followed by that, this very dark forest continues to a good-sized enclosure for what on this day held 2 spectacled caiman, including a 360-degree view from the inside of their exhibit. Further down are multiple terrariums for poison dart frogs, emperor scorpions, and giant cockroaches. The next section begins the aquarium's 300-foot-long acrylic tunnel, with the second largest of the 4 about 10 feet deep tanks that it runs through. This tank used to be known as the Fisherman's Hollow, but it was then renamed as the Sturgeon Lake. As for notable residents, there's long-nosed gar, carp, pike, and the lake sturgeons. They are the largest species of native freshwater fish in the Great Lakes, and they can grow up to 6.5 feet in total length, but they don't compare in size to the alligator gar. They can be found in lakes, swamps, and marshes in the southern United States near the Gulf of Mexico. They get their name from their resemblance of the American alligator, and in these waters they can grow up to 10 feet, making them some of the largest freshwater fish in the country. The tunnel continues to the Wild Amazon. This rather barren tank is the smallest of the 4 and includes black pacu, arapaima, and some other freshwater stingrays, but since we've recently covered them, we'll be moving on. This journey then continues to the Shark Cove. Other than southern stingrays and many fish, this tank includes the aquarium's sharks. There's nurse sharks, wobegons, browns, and black-tipped reef sharks. Amongst them are the sand tiger sharks. Despite being one of the most common in captivity, they are also quite common off shores across the globe. Because of this, they can also be known as the gray nurse shark, the spotted ragged-toothed shark, or the blue nurse sand tiger, although they are not closely related to either the tiger or nurse shark. These waters also exhibit multiple giant shovel-nosed guitarfish. Using their triangular-shaped snouts, they forage the seafloor for invertebrates and fish. These guys can grow up to 5.5 feet, and their coloration helps them blend into the ocean floors. Along with them are the green sawfish, whose saw, or rostrum, has many lined scales on either side that look like teeth. They are the largest type of sawfish and when hunting, they use that rostrum as they thrash side to side to dislodge prey from the sand. With them are the aquarium's shark rays. Even with their shark-like dorsal and tail fins, they are more closely related to rays. They live near the seabed, where they use their strong jaws to crush hard-shelled animals like crabs and lobsters. Finally, the tank includes 2 rescued green loggerhead sea turtles, Emilio and Calypso. After that, the fourth and final section that the tunnel runs through is the Rainbow Reef. This tropical reef includes many fish and rays, but continuing down is another section known as the Coral Caves that features a circular 360-degree view into another reef, along with a couple other tanks displaying and educating you on coral. Next up, a set of 5 tanks known as the Seahorse Kingdom. As for inhabitants, there's long snout, lined, potbelly, and sea pony seahorses, along with 1 tank for brine shrimp. This hallway then continues to the Jellyfish Discovery. The first tank, which used to house Pacific sea nettles, now contains moon jellies, and in this tank, the color can be controlled by buttons accessible to children. Along with them, these moon jellies can also be seen further down in a very dark room with multiple circular-shaped tanks. After this, the path then takes you to a single exhibit for the Weedy or common sea dragon. Those leaf-like things on their body are meant to resemble kelp, as it acts as a form of camouflage. They drift around in the water, feeding on zooplankton, and unlike other seahorses, they lack a prehensile tail that would allow them to grab onto stuff. In these coastal waters, they can reach up to 18 inches in length, and they live in rocky reefs in environments scattered with kelp. Past a photo pickup area and a gift shop is a stingray exhibit, which went from this to this. Welcome to the Ray Lagoon, filled with many cow-nosed rays and 8 giant shovel-nosed guitarfish pups. This 12,000-gallon exhibit includes multiple viewable cameras, allowing guests to experience what's happening under the surface, along with a chance to feed and touch these rays. Lastly, near a modeled shipwreck, another touch tank for sea stars and anemones of the Pacific Northwest. After going through the aquarium in a little less than an hour, my opinion was positive. Now surely there were kids running around everywhere, and of course, it wouldn't be a sea life tank if there weren't random props in the exhibits. But on that note, be sure to let me know what you thought about this place down in the comments, and if you'd like to ever possibly see some of the country's other sea life aquariums featured. As always, thank you for watching.